Man, I wish I had made this video a lot sooner. We all know what happened this past Saturday, July 13th, with the Trump assassination attempt. And I must say the photos that come out of this event have really blown my mind. Some of these photos were sticking to my mind for days. Like, I wish I got those photos myself. As I was lying in bed, I was thinking to myself, why don't I do a reaction video to the amazing photos captured at this past rally? I'm gonna start with my favorite photo from this whole situation. It's a photo from Pulitzer Award-winning photographer Evan Vucci. If you're just wondering why I'm looking off camera, it's because I'm viewing the photo on my TV screen. I mean, I love this photo. This photo is gonna go down as one of the best photos documenting a president or during election time. Definitely go down one of the best photos in history, let alone American history. All the stars aligning perfectly. You have the Secret Service agents in disarray, and Trump with the blood across his face, on his ear, showing courage. Some people will say his act of courage was just for the camera. I don't know, maybe not, but just judging from the photo itself, after nearly, I mean, we were an inch away from civil war, folks. To be specific, a quarter of an inch away from civil war. I don't know how he was still able to gather his thoughts and give that fist pump like that, and just to reignite the crowd, you know, not showing any weakness. For me, the icing on the cake is the American flag behind him. I mean, let's just say Donald Trump and his team was to hire an ad agency and a photographer, a whole production team, and they were sitting in the meeting, and their main objective was, get me one photo during my campaign rallies. I don't need 20 photos. I don't need 30 photos. I just need one photo that's superior and that I could use across all my campaign rallies, and that could seal the win for me. You can't draw this up. I mean, this right here, no ad agency, no creative director can draw something up like this. This is spontaneous. This happens in the moment. And props to Evan Vucci. I think he's the chief photographer at the Washington Post. He's an award winner photographer, Pulitzer winner. He's probably going to win another one for this photo, but he's known for his documentation in the Afghanistan and Iraq wars in the 2000s. And he says it in interviews where moments like that, his past experience, has led him to something like this. You got to imagine in a situation like this with bullets flying from who knows what angles and everybody screaming, the president got hit. You still got to keep your composure and do your job and document the scene, basically. It's so crazy. I don't know if this is true or not, but somebody on CNN has said that he blew up overnight. His Instagram profile, Evans, grew about 100,000 in under 24 hours. Well deserved, by the way. And then just some information in regards to this photo. There's a controversy about whether this is pose or stage. There's conspiracy on both sides, so if you're interested, look into that. I'm not going to go into detail about that because it's just going to be a long video. Yeah, some people do believe that this was staged. The assassination attempt was staged for them to get a photo like this. So there are media outlets and publications that are hesitant in overusing this photo. But anyways, back to this photo. I mean, clean shot, American flag waving beautifully in the background, the strong fist pump, blood, details like that, just showing straight blood. This is money. And this next photo is from Anna Moneymaker. I love that last name. Some people like this photo better than the first one that I showed you, but you can see here, this is when Donald Trump got hit in the ear. He takes cover, Secret Service is over him, and you just see the blood trickling down his face. A lot of people like this photo just because the intensity, the emotion in the face, his hand gesture. It almost looks like he's on the ground, you know, not just taking cover, but praying. I do like this one. I just like the other one better just because it has a little bit more breathing space for me. The American flag, it's just so iconic. And actually, let me go to the contact sheets for this one. This is very heavily cropped in. I don't know who made this graphic, but they made it like negatives when I'm pretty positive it was shot on digital. But I applaud it and kind of enjoy it because it gives you that visual reference. Especially if you're not a photographer, you kind of see the process and just the, you know, the different takes. The middle one, I do agree that they did select the correct image just because he has a better reaction on his face. The first one, It's a little bit dark. Of course, you can always improve that in post, but I believe he's a little bit blinking. The third one is kind of the same. I think that wince in his eye and him wincing, looking like that in the second take is what makes it or separates it from the other two. The funny thing about this photo is, or these contact sheets, you know, I think if this wasn't for journalism or publication and you're just a photographer that happened to be at the rally with a camera and you're just taking these photos for yourself, you probably would keep the feet in. For me, for a street shot, I think the feet makes it a little bit more interesting, but obviously for publication, for news, you're not gonna wanna make the viewer think too much about what's going on. Just crop in and tell them what the story is, let them know what's going on, make it easier for the folks at home that's seeing this. They see the feet, it loses that emotion. By adding the feet, for me, it makes it more of a like a street, like kind of quirkiness, kind of, it adds a little bit more elements to it, quirkiness. But for publication, news, you just need to crop in and sell the emotion on this. So Anna Moneymaker, great capture. Go follow her on Instagram. And by the way, I'll have all the links to these photographers' Instagram in the description box down below. Go check them out and go give them a follow. So actually, I seen this a little bit after, maybe the following day or later that night, because every news media outlet was publishing the first two photos. I don't know if all these photos make it to the media outlets at the same time, or this one got there a little bit later, or if somebody accidentally caught the detail in this photo by Doug Mills, the bullet just flying right by. That's the bullet that grazed Trump's ear. Man, when you think of photography, street photography, that fraction of a second, that detail matters. And you gotta think, it's not about just pressing the shutter button, holding it down, getting 2,000 images within 2 minutes. These guys, Doug Mills, Anna Moneymaker, Evan Vucci, and we'll see a few others in just a minute, they have the experience, they have the timing. It's not just about pressing the shutter button. It's a matter about being in the moment and just having that focus of doing your job and to document your surroundings, whatever scene, whatever area you're in. You know what? Let me know in the comments section down below. I honestly don't know if we've seen anything like this where political figure or anybody on stage speaking and then you see some kind of bullet going by and you clearly see the bullet going by. Trump hasn't, been affected, reacted. Great capture by Doug Mills. Amazing. Okay, and here it is. I'm assuming this is the next few shots of Doug Mills. You see Trump putting his hand, he felt the bullet to his ear and then covering it up. Obviously the publications and media outlets probably went through all the takes from this particular moment and they chose the bullet one to be front page and center. And it looks like Doug is right dead center in front of the podium. He has that low angle shot. Evan is probably right next to him off to the left side. And then Anna Moneymaker is probably on the far left. And I'm curious how, photographers in this setting work. Do they roam around or do they just kind of stay stationary in their, radius, in their area? Okay, this next photo is from Doug Mills again. Looks like it's right after Evan Vucci's iconic image with Trump's fist pump. But you can see this one is the face, the emotion of Trump kind of says it all about that. That's what's going on, what's taking place. I mean, you can only imagine what's going through his mind. Whether you support him or not, it was not a good day for us Americans. It was not a good day, whether you're Democrat, Republican, left, right. And you know what's funny is that I was out with my camera in Waikiki, just walking around doing some street photography. And I text my friend in LA that, it's so crowded in Waikiki. I sent him a photo and then he texts me back, someone tried to assassinate Trump. That's how I found out about it, when I was out shooting street photography. And of course, like anybody else that heard the news, you got onto your devices to learn more about the situation, see if he's okay, see if anybody else got hurt. But yeah, not a good day for the US. This photo right here, Doug Mills, Secret Service all around Trump, surrounding Trump, protecting him. And then you could clearly see the wound on his ear and the blood streak right across his face. I think after Trump did the fist pump and tried to get the crowd, let the crowd know he's okay, things settled in his mind that you could just tell on his face that, he's lucky to be alive. And yeah, so far, just a great sequence from these amazing photographers. So here's another good photo that I like from Anna Moneymaker. I just love saying that last name. I love that last name. Moneymaker. Anna Moneymaker. It just, gosh, why can't I have a last name like that? Like, nobody knows how to spell or pronounce my last name. But anyways, I love this photo. This is a totally street shot. It looks like a Secret Service or campaign staff are working, protecting those on the ground, pointing, and then you have the background, the crowd in the background, the onlookers. I'm surprised a lot of the people in the background wasn't taking cover. Most of them were standing, even when the first few shots, you know, fired. Only like a handful of people ducked. A lot of them were just standing straight up. But yeah, this gives us a little bit more breathing room about what's happening behind the stage. I like how there's some people with their phones out, but most of them are really in the moment and they don't have their phones out, which is pretty cool because every photo you see nowadays is just everybody has their phone out, documenting, recording, photographing, just anything really. And then just the gesture, we like gestures, and street photography just makes it more interesting. You see that a lot. Yeah, great shot by Anna Moneymaker. So this photo I wanted to show, it's from Eric Lee. Go check out his Instagram, great photographer. But it looks like he's on risers to face directly straight on with the podium and to capture, you know, the speeches and things like that. I wanted to show this because it shows a different angle from the first photo with Evan Vucci's photo. And if Evan wasn't there on the ground, you know, right in front of the podium below, or if he missed the shot and this was the main shot to publish all across media, this totally gives a different feel, different story. I mean, again, I never photograph anything political, campaign rallies, anything like that. So I don't know if the photographers can move around or wherever they're planted at, that's where they just gotta snap away and make the most out of it. So I think this is the best shot that where Eric was at, he could possibly get. But again, back to my main point, if this was the main image to publish across media outlets, this totally tells a different story from Evan Vucci's one. This face compared to Evan's one, he's a little bit more rah-rah, a little bit more aggressive with his face. But the biggest difference between this one and the first one for me is, you know, the background. 70% of a photograph is all within the background. With Evan's one, it gives such a patriotic feel. It's a clean blue background, no clouds, and you see the American flag just waving so beautifully. This one, we see no American flag, and we see Trump supporters. They're all into it. They're all pumping. They're doing the fist pump. They're following him. It can be misinterpreted very easily, especially if you're on the opposite end of the political spectrum. I just wanted to read some quotes from some of the photographers there. Moneymaker says that she remembers cursing under her breath and saying, oh my God, but she didn't freeze up. I really just wanted to document history and get the picture. I was a little nervous, like what am I gonna have to show for this? So I kept on clicking my shutter. In between expletives, I just said, keep on making pictures. Evan Vucci, you know, like I mentioned, he was in combat situations before, early on in his career with Iraq and the Afghanistan wars. He says, I'm looking through the viewfinder and I'm thinking, okay, what's my light? Where's the composition? I'm telling myself, slow down, frame, compose, all the things that photographers tell themselves. It's so important in that moment not to just slam on the motor drive just to hope you can get something. You got to continue to make photos. You're not taking photos, you're making them. I think that last sentence says it all, especially to anybody new to photography or looking to continue to improve within their photography, let alone street photography. Don't think you're just taking photos, just pressing the shutter button and hoping to get something. Use your brain, think, use your experience, compose. Always look for the light and make the best photo happen. Remember, you're making them, not taking them. So there you have it. I mean, I haven't seen every photograph from this rally. These are the ones that struck a chord with me, really struck me emotionally. And man, I wish I had a gig like this. Not saying I would get anything close to that, but just having the opportunity to make something in that situation. And sometimes, you know, whether you're doing it for a job, you know, it's a good reminder to just get these photographs just selfishly for yourself, you know, whether you're going to show it to the world or not. I mean, these photographs, like I said, it's going to go down to history. It's very inspiring. I think any street photographer can learn from these photographers alone, but not only that, but just by looking at these photographs themselves, the processes, the selections, because when you're out on the street, I mean, anything can happen. You never know. And so you just gotta have your camera ready and be ready at all times. So if you like this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as well. And you know that bell, hit that notification bell. And when I post new content or video, you will be notified. But yeah, let me know from this set, what's your favorite photo? Or was there a photograph that I missed from this rally? Let me know in the comment section down below. And until next time, stay safe and keep shooting.